Hey guys, this is Nick. The last decade was phenomenal for the gaming industry. Many new games were created, many new developers rose, and many of them have fallen too. In this video, we go back and explore the best PC games of the last decade, featuring games that shaped the gaming world. The ranking is based on overall reception of the games and our opinions too. Let's start with our number 10, Dark Souls. It's a hardcore action game with a strong focus on not dying, while dying a lot in-game. It's one of the most influential games of the last decade as it gave birth to a whole new genre called Souls-like. Even the 2019 Game of the Year Sekiro is based on the same genre. It features a very hostile world where death is both frequent and consequential, a continuous kingdom ingeniously interconnected by shortcuts, and a good story. It's a game that dared to be formidable and uncompromising, rewarding those who persevered through its overwhelming difficulty. No other game in the 2010s has changed so dramatically how we talk about games, particularly difficulty. How many games can brag about birthing a new genre? Number 9. Portal 2. No one expected much of the original Portal when it first bundled with the orange box, but it says a lot about the puzzler's brilliance that we were all holding our breath for the sequel, and it didn't disappoint. Portal 2 is a first-person puzzle game where you use one of the greatest guns in gaming, the portal gun, to progress through a series of increasingly difficult and mind-bending portal puzzles. This already compelling game is bolstered by a brilliantly written story in which bad AI is trying to destroy your plucky little robot protagonist. It's one of the best ever on-rail narrative experiences with almost no human character in-game. Number 8. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. It had the balance just right. A vibrant, interesting world with an absolutely amazing story featuring a lot of real-like events from history and enough engaging side quests. You couldn't go hog wild without gaining notoriety, meaning guards would begin recognizing you more easily, giving your actions consequences. You also had an impact on the world. Taking down a tower and killing its commander revitalized the area, letting you renovate shops. A novel feature that lets you hire, train, and dispense your own collection of assassins provided a feeling that things were happening even if you weren't there to witness them. It's easy to see the influence of Brotherhood in other open-world games, and it's obvious when Ubisoft doesn't carry its lessons forward on its own. Number 7. PUBG. PUBG, or PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, began life as a mod for DayZ, but when it eventually became a standalone game in 2017, its popularity exploded, legitimizing the genre and ultimately paving the way for Fortnite 2. It's a thrilling tactical squad shooter. Solo, it's like a big-scale stealth game where the enemies are all unpredictable human players who want to become the last man or squad standing alive. 100 players enter, 1 player leaves. The rapidly shrinking play space in PUBG makes for an immediate action-packed game which made it particularly fun to watch on Twitch, another reason why the game became so popular. The popularity of Battle Royale can't be understated, and it all started with PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Number 6. Divinity Original Sin 2. It started from Kickstarter, crowdfunding and setting up the devs to make one of the deepest, most rewarding RPGs of all time. We just can't emphasize enough how deep this RPG goes. You can play it dozens of times, still getting lots and lots of new content and story in every playthrough. Original Sin 2 builds on the already impressive original, expanding the tactical combat, increasing the impact of your decisions on the world, and offering unthinkable amounts of whimsically written quests. The entire adventure is wonderfully written and voiced, even all the bizarre animals you meet along the way. The multiplayer is also quite possibly the best that's ever been integrated into a full-blooded RPG too. Number 5. CS:GO. It was mostly a port at first, with Valve giving visual makeovers to players' beloved maps like Dust 2. Valve also introduced cosmetic weapon skins for the first time, bringing new layers of economic insanity to it. Within the player-run markets, custom skins became status symbols with towering real dollar price tag. The broader outcome of all of this is the way that CSGO's sky-high popularity and skill ceiling became a template for FPSs that have followed. And the game's scale also allowed Valve to pursue a new machine learning technique to combat cheaters, an approach being used in many other anti-cheat services. This amazing shooter is still one of the biggest competitive FPS games of this day. Number 4. League of Legends. It started out as just a mod, then quickly evolved into a MOBA genre-defining game. You play 5v5. The goal is to destroy the other team's base across the map. But now League of Legends is an esport itself. When Riot Games first started hosting World Championships, it was building the template that nearly every other competitive game would follow, but none would ever fully replicate. When it created the League of Champions series, it turned esports into a year-round event, much like any other sports, turning competitive gaming into a full-time job. It also continually added new content and rebalanced the game, creating a breathing meta that kept players engaged for thousands upon thousands of hours. And though League of Legends isn't solely responsible for all this, there is no other game with a wider impact this past decade. Number 3. The Elder Scrolls V: Skyrim. It's the game that never dies, having been resurrected on every major console since its initial launch in 2011. It's a big and very atmospheric open world packed with quests, stories, characters, and very detailed lore. You can go where you want and be who you want. You're the Dragonborn, sure, but you can play for hundreds of hours without ever kicking off the main questline that introduces dragons into the world. While the base game is a classic in its own right, the game really lives on through its modding community. How do you make a single-player game that millions still play on a daily basis almost 10 years after its release? Make it moddable. No need for DLCs, no seasons passes. Just give passionate creative players the tools and freedom they need to craft their own fun. Number 2. Minecraft. You don't need to have mined a cube of ore in Minecraft to appreciate its impact on gaming. It's the digital Lego, letting players of any age unleash their creativity on the now iconic voxel-based world. It also pioneered the survival genre. Minecraft's design, its procedural open worlds, and its deep crafting systems have been heavily influential to scores of other games. But it's also set the stage for a decade of early access and paid alpha releases of games. Selling a game before it's finished is practically the industry standard these days. Minecraft started this. In 2009, it was in an alpha state, and when it went on sale by 2011, Minecraft had sold 1 million copies. By 2013, 10 million, and right now it's over 180 million, officially the best-selling video game of all time. And last but not least, number 1, The Witcher 3: Wild Hunt. Its massive success made CD Projekt one of the most respected game developers in the world. It's the best RPG and game of the decade, inspired by little-known fables of Eastern European folklore. The amazing masterpiece pulls you into endless memorable moments, from the struggles of villagers contending with war and monsters lurking in the surrounding woods, to the understated compassion of its hero Geralt of Rivia. It's one of the biggest, most detailed, and intimate open worlds created. A haunting yet beautiful gaming experience. Even the average side quests are more creative or better presented than the main story of most RPGs. And then they went and did that part better too. Also, it presents some of the most memorable characters like Ciri, Yennefer, Trish, and Geralt himself. No wonder why Netflix Witcher series became a massive success overnight. And these were our picks for the best PC games of the decade. Do you agree with us or not? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to smash that like button if you liked the video and subscribe to see more. See you in the next one.